going to make a tutorial on how to install lowering springs on your Porsche 718 Cayman, even though I've never done this before. It's going to be that easy, I promise. So the main tool that you're going to need that you probably won't have in your garage is a spring compressor tool. You're able to not have a spring fly at you and hit you in the face. It's probably the one piece you don't have in your garage. You can get it from O'Reilly's, and once you return it, you get your money back. So you basically rent it for free. Michael has brought us some H&R springs. These are the same lowering springs that go on the Porsche Boxster 981. They both share the same suspension. And here they are. Some nice looking blue lowering springs. Right now, if we look for reference, right where my palm ends, I can touch this tire. So hopefully by the end of this, we're down to here. Step one, take off the wheels, jack up the car. So we've removed the wheel. What this looks like is a slip-on strut. So it looks like I'm just gonna need to remove the bolts around the hub, and we're gonna remove the top hat bolts, take the whole assembly out. We're gonna put the spring compressor on the spring, and then put on the new spring and put the top hat back on, slip it all back in. Should be easy enough. To get access to the rear top hats, you need to start taking apart the interior. So you start with these side carpet pieces on the right and left side. I've already lifted the weather trim right here, the weather seal, so that we can get access to this side plastic trim piece. And you kind of just push down on it. Then you're gonna eventually slide it out. So this gets removed. As I've said, I've not done this on this car before, so we're kind of learning as we go. Once those are out of the way, you can start to lift up on this center piece. Okay. Then you can see right now we have much better access to our top hats. In fact, I have access to all 3 bolts. So we're obviously gonna start with the right side, as that's what we're doing first. Right here, these 3 come off, and then what's gonna happen is we're gonna be able to push down on this, and this is gonna slip out from its position, and then this will be able to slide out from the hub. So it looks like we've got 13mm bolts holding these top hats. I'm gonna grab a short one and a long one just in case. This is a ratcheting impact wrench. Go for our first nut. Okay, what we do is we break it loose, and then we hit the gun. This one we're having a little harder time getting access to, so we switch to our standard socket size, and that'll go right in there. There's 2. All right, so that's 3 bolts right there. Now if we come around here, we should be able to stand on the hub and it be removed from the top of the car. Oh, guess not. We have to remove some other bolts then. So let's see. Looks like we're gonna need to remove this lower control arm here and potentially the sway bar. Yeah, because something's keeping this from pushing down. Take an 18mm wrench to this bottom hub bolt and nut, pull that out. still need to remove this rear lower control arm. So I think what's keeping us mostly from lowering the suspension is the back of the lower control arm up against the subframe. So if you remove this, we should be able to lower the entire hub. Okay, so we're gonna use this security seal. We're gonna place it in the exact spot of where those alignment washers are, so that when we put it all back together, we're not messing up with any of the adjust caster, toe, Ackerman, whatever this adjustment is created for. We're gonna jack up the lower control arms so we have an easier time pulling out that bolt. Another option, take a bolt, push it up against the bolt, and hammer it. And try taking it off with the impact gun and a flathead. Another option here, little technique, take the impact gun, constantly spin it, and then just pry it out with a flathead. See if this works. There we go. So I'll show you close up. This is this alignment washer. I believe this is like a toe adjustment. All right, so we've removed this lower control arm or rear trailing arm. We've removed this lower control arm. We've now removed the center one. I don't know the names of all these control arms. There's a lot of them, but we've removed this piece from the center. Now we can slide to the side. The one concern you need to have is this brake line. You don't want to put too much tension or pressure on that brake line. Looks like there's a bracket in here. You just remove this 10mm bolt. And it looks like this will just lift up out of position. Either way, yeah, we just need to be able to give that some flexibility so that we can push this down from the 3 holes it's connected to. Okay, and if you're having a hard time removing your sway bar end link, what you need to do is jack up the hub to a certain point, line it all up, and then it slips right out actually. This is an instance where you gotta work smarter, not harder. Okay, now when we remove it, let's see. Yep, there it goes. So the sway bar end link is what was keeping it in. You might not have an air tool, but this is the fastest way to take off a top hat bolt. Now, it was really difficult getting the strut out from the other side of the quarter panel. We used a towel to make sure we didn't scratch anything. The best way I was able to do it is I took one of the spring compressors, I pressed the spring down, and then I took a crowbar and I used the top hat as leverage with the towel protecting everything, pushed down on the inside of the body, and this came out. So this hopefully, this isn't the strongest impact gun, but it might take off the top hat bolt first try. And look at that, we got lucky. So if you don't have an air compressor or a gun or air tools, what you would most likely need to do is take this. You would need to take vice grips. You would need to wrap them around a towel. This is what I have done since I was 17. I would take vice grips, I would wrap it around a towel. I would clamp it to under the weather guard right here, the center of the strut. And that rod usually is what's spinning when you're trying to take this off. There we go. Okay, these gets removed, spring comes off. And what it looks like is we don't even need to remove the strut from the assembly, but if we were to do it, like so. Here's your strut assembly. If you look in here, there's indentations of where the spring is going to end and where it should sit. Make sure you pick correctly which is the top and which is the bottom. Okay, that sits on there perfectly. So you see how it stops here? And how the radius on the bottom of the strut is very similar to the spring. If it were upside down, you would have this part down here, and it doesn't really fit properly. Yeah, make sure you have the top to the top, the bottom to the bottom, and everything goes back in order. This goes down here. This also has an indentation of where it should go, so this should line up with the top right here. Place this on top. These studs go in here, just like so. And then, because we are not dealing with a stiffer spring, you don't need to use the spring compressors to push this down. Screw everything back together. Look at that. Nice and easy. So, now the hard part is getting this back in place. There we go. Nice. So now, yeah, see, this is the tricky part. So the way I did it, when I removed it, we're just gonna do it the same way but reverse. Once again, we protect the quarter panel with a rag. Take this, then we push it down with the body of the car, but this time moving it forward. There we go. Now we can remove the towel, and look at that. All right. Now that we have our lowering spring installed, what we're gonna do is have to just reassemble the suspension, jack it up into those 3 holes, and this corner will be done. And then next we'll show you the front and how to install a lowering spring in the front of this Porsche. All right, so we're doing a lot of maneuvering, jacking, twisting, rotating to get this suspension all back together. But so far we have the back of the lower control arm in, we've got the sway bar end link in, we've got this camber arm, whatever you'd call it, rear trailing arm. We got our strut back in place. Now we just gotta line up this center bar, the control arm. Right there. That's nice and easy, actually. Just gonna come right through. Done. Yeah, so this whole, other than needing to now tighten everything up and bolt this ABS, brake sensor, brake line bracket on, we're good to go. Alright, so we're not going to get the full effect here because we haven't installed the other 3 corners, but we'll see if this makes any difference. Yeah, see. So, a couple things. 1, it still needs to settle, and 2, the other side needs to be installed. Once that's all taking place, it should come down a little bit more. Usually it's disappointing until you get all of them installed, from my experience. So Michael just moved the Porsche back just a couple feet, and it already is starting to settle. If I put my hand back, if you remember, my finger was right here and my palm was right there. So we've already made at least an inch drop here. Time to do the front. By the way, a quick tip to quickly removing wheels. I like to take a breaker bar and my 1/2 inch drive ratchet. I break them all loose. Usually you do it in a star pattern formation. I've already broken most of these loose though. Put the key on. Okay, once they're all broken loose, what you're gonna do is jack up the car until it's off the ground. Okay, take your impact gun. Now, some impact guns are strong enough to just remove the lug immediately. Mine's not, so we have to do it the slow way. But if you're like me, you like to be efficient with your time, you'll still take the extra time to switch over to the gun to save some time in the end. Okay, so looks like the front is similar. Looks like there's a lot less to remove in the front. So it's like 2 in 1. So this sway bar end link here is actually what joins. Once we remove this, we do both at the same time, removing the sway bar end link for this to be able to slip out. Up here, you can see we've got a top hat cover. Does it twist? Looks like it just lifts up. So this whole piece actually comes off really easily. That's nice. We've got easy access to the 3 top hat bolts right here. 1, 2, 3. And if I wanted to, while I'm at it, I could hit the impact gun while it's connected up here because there's plenty of clearance to do so. We're gonna remove the sway bar end link. It looks like we're gonna remove this front lower control arm bolt and nut. We'll slide this out, push it down, be able to kick it with our feet, and then it looks like we've got another bar over here. So we'll take our crescent wrench to the top and bottom right here, slide it out even further, and then we'll disconnect our tie rod in the front. Our tie rod has a hold on it in the front, and that's going to keep us from doing that side-to-side motion. We need as much flexibility as we can to be able to maneuver this strut out from up here to the other side of the fender without nicking any of the paint. So let's just do a time lapse on this one. So we removed the front right hub assembly and we took off the spring. The top hat is still attached up there because all we had to do was unbolt the strut, remove it. It very easily slipped out of the hub, which was nice. So Michael here has now the new spring and the strut. Go ahead and slip it over. That's totally upside down. There you go. See, don't make that same mistake Michael's making. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, well,
hold on.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so the thin side for the front goes down, which is opposite of the rear. And you slip the weather seal over it. Cool. Now this one looks like we might need to use the spring compressor before we can get it back up on there. Here, you want to slip it in so you can get it in the hole? Push, 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 push. All right. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna need to use some spring compressors for the front. These are gonna go on here. And this locks it in. So. up, Robbie?
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good, man. How's that?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, good.
Good, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good, how are you?
If I'm not... Whose Porsche is this?
This?
2000 and what?
19.
19?
Yeah.
But what? Why the engine is here? In the front?
Well, why are your shoes on your feet?
Okay, have a nice day, guys. Good.
Bye, Robbie. Ciao.
Ciao, bello.
Ciao, bello.
Ciao, amigo.
It's getting better, but it still is like difficult. There we go. Okay, now I need the nut. Can you give me the nut? All right, so
Wow. Is that a dog?
no, it's a guy.
Oh.
There's a guy with this cough. I always hear him. There we go, look. Just slips right over. Game the orange. Hammer.
I didn't come to help, man.
Yeah, you came to hammer some shit.
I just want to watch, man.
Thanks. There you go. Nice. All right. Done. Oh, look at that, nice and light. So we've got the, if you come look closely, you'll see the bottom of the lowering spring is in position in its groove. And if you see here, it's the same on the top. Hey. Put on our 13. Don't over torque these because you can snap those. So if we look under here, we've got our new H&R Lowering Springs installed. Now the next step is to take the hub and slip it back through the strut and then put it all back together. And Robbie has volunteered to do all of that for us.
No.
So there's this, there's this, and get to it.
What? What?
So you just put the hub back on the strut.
Show me how.
No, you got it.
No, Zach, take
It's
yours.
easy.
Okay. What you want me to do?
I want you to put the hub on the strut.
This hub? This?
That's a pull.
Ah, okay. What's in your hub?
That's the hub.
Where?
This big round
Heavy
thing.
thing.
This?
Yeah. Yep, just like that. Easy as that.
When are we gonna fix my bike?
Your bike?
T-Max.
Where's your bike? I thought you sold it.
No, I parked in the restaurant.
You parked at the restaurant?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your bike?
I wanna fix it.
Hey. I don't think they saw me. Now here's the easy part. Not really. There we go. interior's all back together. Torqued the wheels down, we've lowered it, we've installed springs on all four corners. How you feeling?
Excited.
You want to show them the gap?
Right now it's only one finger. Well, 2 fingers in the front, 1 finger in the back.
Yeah, before I was able to put my
Whole palm in there.
palm in there.
Yeah.
So I can only get 2 fingers.
In the back as well.
Yeah, that looks awesome. And you just watched how to change your springs, install lowering springs on your car. Yeah, so it involves some interior work in the back. The front was easy. You take off this plastic piece. I'd say the rear is much harder and time constraining than the front. Oh, and again, so this is a 2019 Porsche. How old are you?
19.
Look at that. 19 Porsche for a 19-year-old Michael. Gosh dang. Before I let Michael go, I'm gonna do a little test to make sure we don't hear any funky noises or anything. Actually, let's go straight. Back to civilization.
Sheesh.
Man.
It's the first time that, well,
You feel experiencing your car this way?
yeah.